What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. Let's get straight to it. So, chat, yesterday I hopped in 2 GBP JPY sells, ranged a little bit throughout the day, pulled back up, and then news came out, and then it came back down, which is looking good, and now it's pulling back up a little bit, which could lead to another sell, chat. This could lead to another sell opportunity depending on how we see a rejection up in this area. If we do, all right? If we don't see it reject, then I'd want to be obviously careful because it could just carry on up, but we're in a good place right now. And if we can see a nice rejection up at some resistance, that would be very clean for, not only these two trades, but for also another possible entry. All right. So that's pretty much the deal here on GJ. Just being patient with it. We let it run overnight, did its thing, made a nice little move coming on down. And now we want to just see it hold up. So far it's holding up nice, but I think we still have to be a bit patient with it, so I'm happy to do that. Chat, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Gonna take a look at a few different pairs. We'll just see what's going on. Okay. CAD JPY. Pulling back up a little bit here. Okay, so we're gonna want to see if there's gonna be a rejection up at some resistance, just like GJ. That's what I'm keeping my eye on for here. We have some support down here, which did not break. We saw a bounce coming up. So, obviously, we would want to see some resistance and maybe a move coming down. I don't know if I'd look for a sell up here or a bit lower. I'm not actively looking for a sell here just because I'm in GJ, but just taking a look around, all right? I have a bunch of stuff marked up here. Was looking at a bunch of different things on UJ. This is the kind of thing where I was looking for both buys or sells depending on how things developed and played out. And with what we're dealing with right now, we see a nice bounce of support, struggled to break as well, and it's pulling back, all right? Now, I wouldn't be looking for a buy here. I probably wouldn't start looking for a buy unless resistance up here breaks. So, got a little bit of a move away before I could start to look for a buy. And in terms of sells, I don't prefer sells on UJ to some other pairs, GJ being one of them. But if it were to reject some resistance, whether that's around here or even after a pullback up higher, then I'd be looking for a move coming down, possibly for a sell, all right? Let's check out USD CAD. Been liking USD CAD, but haven't really found anything too much. I was looking for a sell here, but it didn't seem like it would have been a big enough opportunity for me. In hindsight, I mean, it still played out, so it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, I mean, we got some support down here, a pretty strong level of support, that is. Right, we see several big rejections down here at support. So I want to be careful of sells, even though we've caught some nice ones and it's been setting up for more and more opportunity. Next sell opportunity for me is either going to be after a pullback. So we'd have to see how that looks. But that is an opportunity, depending on how it plays out. And below support down here, I can maybe also look for sells, all right? In terms of a buy, prices at some support or nearby could shape up for some sort of buy in the near future. I'm not rushing into something like that just because it's been moving down strong, and I would want to see some sort of, reversal start to set up for me before I would actually look for that, which is not what we're seeing here yet, right? It's just bounced off support and pulled back a little bit, not really giving me any kind of reversal buy type of setup, nor a sell yet. So I would want to be a bit patient on CAD JPY, USD CAD, but it's looking pretty good. I'm going to mark up a trend line here. See how that's looking. It's actually not bad. We see a couple of rejections coming on down the trend line here. And we do see a bit of a breakout happening here. Not much. I wouldn't really be trading this breakout just yet, but it could be the beginning of something like that, all right? So we'd want something like this, all right? Now, this could play out in plenty of different ways. We know this from experience here on stream. But this is generally the idea, so I'd be keeping an eye on it and seeing how I can maybe capitalize on it, right? There's obviously the possible initial breakout move. Then there's an entry opportunity after a pullback, maybe. We don't know how far that could pull back. It could pull back like this and then start to bounce. Or it could do something like that and then end up pulling back even lower, right? So practicing some patience here is definitely smart. It's also a big setup that I wouldn't be looking to trade in one shot. I'd probably just Well, if we could see a nice buy opportunity set up down in this area, which honestly if we are going to have that, it probably could end up being a bit lower. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a breakout and then a pullback deeper to support. So maybe we wait for something like this where we get the breakout, pull back, test some support all the way down here, and then we could look for that buy if it's still looking good. And I could target some resistance like up here. All right, so this would be buy setup number 1 if it does set up for me. Okay, now let me go ahead and pull up GJ again because it's pulling back up and I want to keep an eye on it. Yeah, so we're not looking bad here. It's pushing up towards one of my entries here. But so far we do have a nice little breakout. But at the same time, some of these JPY pairs do look like they could want to go up. AUD JPY. So for this pair over here, chat, what I'd be looking at is still this for a possible sell. So basically what I'm saying is no sell for me unless we see support break and give us some sort of break and retest coming down. That would be clean, but we do need to see this breakout first. And on the other hand, I mean, we could possibly shape up and see some buys, but I'm not rushing into that because I would love to see some sells and some reversals coming on down, and we could still see that. So yeah, that's the deal. Now we do have a breakout, a pullback, comes down, test that support, just like kind of what I'm looking for on CAD JP, no, sorry, USD CAD. And it started to break out a little bit. Now we do have some resistance here. It could reject and come back down, which for what I'm looking for, that'd be good because I want to see these JPY pairs come down. But regardless, doesn't really matter. Whatever's going to happen here will happen. If we see a bit of a pullback like this, could lead to a buy. If we see a nice pullback to some support and a bounce coming back up to play a setup out like this. But we will have to wait and see because it also could just carry on right back down and give me some sort of sell. So we want to be careful, but it's not looking bad. If you guys have any pairs or anything, let me know, chat. Happy to pull it up. And if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, smash that like button, chat. I do appreciate it a lot. Lets me know you guys are enjoying, which, like I said, I really do appreciate. So far, GJ is starting to pull back a little bit here, giving us a bit of a rejection. Not enough for an entry, obviously, yet. We need some closure, and, well, what time is it? 8:14. So 15-minute closes in 1 minute. We just recently got the hour closure and opening. So yeah, I mean, this could play, depending on how this plays out, entry could be coming sooner or a bit later, assuming it remains valid. So let me explain, right? So it's pulling back up. We could see it pull back up even higher and test resistance. I mean, it could pull back as high as, it wants. It could pull back all the way up to here, right? We'll see what happens, but with what I'm seeing and how this is looking clean, we could end up seeing a rejection here or even a bit higher. Those both would look clean to me in my opinion. We have to wait and see what will happen, but if we were to see something like that, I could end up looking for that sell. Now, if it were to happen on this candle and it were to just flip and start to come back down, I'd maybe start to look for that entry, but I'd be cautious in doing so, and I probably would try and be as patient as possible with that. Or, like I said, it could take a bit longer and it could pull back up higher and then give us some rejection before coming down. So we could end up with a sooner entry a bit later. We'll see. Either way, the setup currently is looking great. A lot of profit potential here with this setup, which is nice. Good risk to reward, tight stop losses. So I'm happy to let these run and give them a chance. And I will be looking for another sell, like I said. Maybe our stop loss gets taken. Sorry, but I just feel like it. That's okay. I mean, that's trading. If stop loss hits, that's a completely normal thing to happen. So that's okay if that were to happen. It's looking great, but sure, it can, of course, take me out. My trades are not risk-free. So that being said, it is obviously possible to hit my stop loss. But that being said, again, it's looking fantastic right now. And I have no reason to be, thinking like that at the moment. It's looking good, holding up at some resistance so far. Nice clean breakout and pull back a little bit. So I really wouldn't be, I couldn't be asking for too much cleaner of a setup at the moment, right? Obviously, this could have just jetted all the way down to profit, which is unlikely to see a giant quick move like that, but it does happen. But given what we're seeing here, a little bit of patience being required, it is looking very nice. What's going on, beginner trader? How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Do I trade live every day? Please let me know time. So no, I don't trade live every day. I would love to trade live every day. I trade live most days, but not every day is going to be a day I even end up trading. Sometimes the market's better off for me just staying out. And then some days I just get busy with like personal life shit. So yeah, but most of the time I am going to be live in the mornings for like New York session. Time depends, but usually around 7:30 a.m. Eastern. I would say that's a safe bet. You know, sometimes maybe a bit earlier, sometimes maybe a bit after, but generally around 7:30. And yeah, welcome. It's hard to go live every day because, like I said, sometimes it's better off that I just stay out of the market, don't take any trades. And when that's the case, I mean, I could still stream, but not always is there going to be a need for that. But we'll see. I would love to stream every day, and I do stream most days. You know, I would say I stream most days, but we'll see. Good to see everyone back here, chat. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Sorry, chat, I was on mute. Let me catch up on the chat. All right, beginner trader, I'll check it out. You put your stop loss at entry in GJ. Should I place my stop loss to other place or original place, or put my stop loss at entry? Because in the morning of 19th December, JPY will be strong because they're going to hike rates. Okay, so good question. Well, okay, so it's the 17th, so we got 2 days until then. So I'm not too concerned about what's happening a couple days from now in terms of how I manage my trade now with break even and all that. But we are looking good. If we can see this reject here and flip back down, maybe towards support a little bit lower. I mean, I said originally like at this level I'd go risk free, but for both these trades to be risk free, I'd probably want to see a move down towards like in this area. Then I would go risk free on both trades and let them run from that at that point. All right. For now, I'm comfortable with my stop losses where they are. Just I want to give it a bit of a chance. It's looking great, but it's not too far in profit. Like it's not. If it were to pull back on us, it wouldn't take a crazy amount of time to hit this point. And we do have strong resistance here, which could be tested and still, you know, remain valid. So I want to be careful with going risk-free a bit too early. Not that, you know, it would be a bad thing, right? Depending on how you're looking at it, right? Getting out, taking out a break even is a lot better of an outcome than taking a loss, generally, right? So in that perspective, it's not a bad thing to just go risk-free, and, you know, if it takes me out, it takes me out. But at the same time, I don't want to get taken out while there's still being a decent chance this remains clean and plays out. So I'm going to give it a chance for now. If we can see a nice rejection here, a nice move coming down a bit lower, that's when I'll start to go risk-free with my 2 live trades. All right. Sorry, chat. Chats are moving a bit quick and they're scrolling up, and I'm just missing some of them. I don't really use Discord. I have Discord. I don't really go on anymore. If you want to reach out though, reach out on, Telegram is a good place to reach me, or in the school community. So if you see the link in the description to join the free school community, feel free to check that out. And it's a great place to contact me if you would like. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, beginner trader. I think so. I'm not in a rush with this one, though. We'll let it take its time. As long as it's looking good, I'm happy to hold it. I wouldn't think it would take a crazy amount of time if it is going to play out. I mean, one way or another, it'll play out either good or, bad or neutral by hitting break even potentially. And in any of those circumstances, I don't expect it to take too long. It is a little bit of a larger setup, which in my opinion, in this situation, I think is worthwhile. The risk reward's pretty good. And it's a clean setup, so I'm happy to hold that. But shoot, what was my point? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't really mind how long it's gonna take to play. I don't think it's gonna take too long. It is a bit of a quicker mover than some of the other pairs we've traded, so it should be okay in that sense. But we'll see. We are starting to see this flip, so let's see what time is it. 8:22. I want to be a bit patient with it. I don't want to rush it. It could easily just pop right back up. So we should probably try and wait for some closure and maybe a candle opening, whether that's the 15 or the 30. Well, I guess they're going to be closing at the same time here. So about 5 to 10 minutes, we could have another entry, all right? You joined the school? Good stuff. I'll chat with you in there, all right? So far, it's holding up nice here, chat. Chat, I will be right back. Obviously, we're going to let this run in the meantime, pulling back up a little bit here. So, like I said, patience is going to be key. It's very important if we want to time this as best as possible and give it the best chance because, we don't have that confirmation just yet. It could still pull back up, whether that's just towards some resistance here or even higher towards some resistance up here. So, patience is key. I'll be right back. All right, chat, I'll be right back. All right, chat, I'm back. Let's get back to it. So, since I hopped off for a few minutes there, we do see a nice rejection taking place here on 30 where we're watching it so far. 15 is looking good. We got 15 closure in 1 minute actually, and we got an hour closure coming as well, which at the moment is looking great. All right, we want a closure, something like this if possible. I mean, if it comes down, that's great too, but I would love to see this. All right, it could pull back further before the closure. Recently, I've been feeling like I've been getting a lot of that, where we're looking great, and then literally within like the last minute or two before the closure, it starts to pull back and not end up closing the way we'd want to see it. So we want to wait for a closure before entering. 15 minute at least, 30 minute in the hour, maybe. All right, but we should have another entry coming soon. And it's looking clean, all right? We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't make too big of a move to where the opportunity is not as worth it. But at the same time, we don't want to see it pull back on us too much either. So let's be patient here and see what happens, all right? I'm going to get ready with my sell setup here and just see how it's looking. Target would be the same. Stop loss, we'll see. It could be up here. I could tighten it a little bit. Risk is a little high on this lot size for a wider stop loss like that. Okay, so we're going to want to be cautious with this. Well, at least me being already in 2 trades, I don't want to go too risky because if it were to go bad, that would not be ideal with after adding a 3rd position. So I'd probably go lower risk personally, but that isn't necessarily as much an indication of the setup where, like I said, it's more so because I'm already in 2 trades and I don't want to go, I don't want to add too much risk, especially when these aren't risk-free. If we see a move lower and I can go risk-free, then that's a different story. But we'll see, all right? Stop loss will probably be between here and up here, all right? Okay, we got 15 closure. We got closure on the 15. It actually closed solid. So now, I mean, waiting for a 30-minute and an hour closure couldn't hurt. It'd also actually be the 4-hour candle closure. So I think I probably would want to wait for that. But let's see how things shape up in the next 15, all right? Maybe even a bit sooner. But right now, the 4-hour doesn't look too bad. I mean, it is pulling back after this nice previous 4-hour, but it's not an unclean type of pullback. It's just a pullback, right? So that's still looking good for now. Things can change. I mean, if this just shoots right back up in the next 15, then this may not be worth entering off of. So it's looking good, but I can't predict the future. I can't tell how this is going to close on us. So let's be patient with it. Try and wait it out a little bit, and we'll see what we can do. I mean, this is pulling back a little bit. Maybe we got a top wick and see it start to flip. That's what I'd be looking for here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Now, that doesn't mean it'll start to really push, but I do think it'll at least briefly flip for us. We'll see what happens here. Let's not rush it. It's a big setup, not too crazy, but it's on the bigger side and it's worthwhile. Solid risk to reward. So if we're going to add another position, we have to do it as best we can. We got to do it right. Otherwise, it would just be more of a harmful decision to our current trades as opposed to being a wiser trading decision here, right? So For me to find additional entry, it has to be a good opportunity. Otherwise, it could just take away from what we're already working with here. And that's not what we want to see. So I'm kind of just bouncing between the different time frames right now, taking a look, just monitoring it, seeing how it's developing a little bit. And we're trying to be a bit patient. We're trying to be a bit patient here. It's looking good, a nice rejection, but with 4-hour closure coming, I probably would still expect, for the most part, a bit of a top wick at the very least. So waiting for this closure shouldn't, I don't think, lead to a missed opportunity. It still could, right? I try and let you guys know, like, nothing's for certain in trading, really. Like, it's more probability based. So when I say, like, something like that, like, it still could come up. And I try and remind you guys that, like, you know, we never truly know exactly what's going to be happening here. So we do the best we can. And patience goes a long way, because there's a lot of opportunities that look good and then they fake you out. And I would say the less you can find yourself in that situation, the better you're going to find yourself. All right. So far, solid here. Yeah, we're pulling back up here on the 15 a bit, so patience is paying off. Chat, a reminder, I say this sometimes too, but being patient not only can help us avoid a bad entry or a bad trade altogether, but it can also help give you a better entry opportunity on the same setup with more potential profit. You know what I mean? Like, if this pulls up, I'm able to catch a better entry. Stop loss will obviously be able to be placed at a better location, right? I'd rather be able to place it a bit wider, but for me to effectively place a wider stop loss here, we'd want to see it come up closer, because that would make the risk reward overall better, and I can have a higher lot size with that situation. So yeah, patience not only protects you from bad opportunities, but it can improve the opportunity you're looking at trading regardless, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to just ride it out a little bit, be patient. We got some nice setups that have ranged a little bit, but held up very nicely so far. And now we want to just be a bit patient and see if we can catch another well-timed entry opportunity, all right? I'm just going to bounce around a little bit, see how things are looking. I like Euro JPY. It has been playing out nicely so far. But same kind of deal with GJ right now, where we have some resistance up here, and it's kind of pulling back up towards that level of resistance. So although I do like the sells, I would still want to be a bit cautious here, because it's shaping up nice, but I don't know. I've been burned the last couple weeks, a couple times on these JPY pairs. They've been relentlessly trending upwards, showing brief, opportunities for potential sells that look clean, and then they just kind of carry on up. So that's going to happen sometimes. I mean, the market's just a little bit choppy, in my opinion, not really playing out the way I would want for my type of trading. So the best thing I could do is be aware of that and use that to help me moving forward. So whether that's avoiding some trades or just being a little bit extra cautious, that's what I'm going to try and do. So yes, it is trending up, and it couldn't hurt to trade with the trend as per usual. This has been one of those situations where that would have been the right kind of play. But at the same time, at some point, I would expect a bit of a reversal move of some size, right? Doesn't have to come all the way down here, but, I do think it will come down at some point and give us some sort of move like that. Now, I don't know if that's going to be ready to happen here, or it could be, a little bit later. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's holding up good. And if we can see it remain below this resistance up here, clean rejection, we could maybe expect it to come down. And I say maybe a little bit less confidently, just because, like I said, with any setup, there's going to be, clean setups that just don't play out from time to time. But as of recently, I've been finding that more common with some of these pairs. So, and that does happen too sometimes. So I try and be aware of that, recognize that I'm in one of those periods where, these JPY pairs may look good and give me some setups, but they kind of just have been not really playing those out as clean as they have a couple weeks back. So being a bit extra patient is going to be a good call for me personally here, because we don't want to hop in a sell and see it carry on up. So we'll wait, see if we can get another clean rejection and see this start to push down. Maybe then I could look for a sell opportunity here as well. USD CAD gave us that breakout, but it's now breaking back below this trend line here, chat. So another example, just patience is key. This wasn't the cleanest breakout, so I wouldn't have traded this regardless, but yeah, patience is very important. We got to see if it'll give us a clean break before I can look for a buy. Otherwise, I mean, it's been trending down and sells have been looking good. It could be ready to make another move lower. And if that's the case, I'd be looking for sells below support. All right, we got a strong level of support here. I wouldn't be trading a sell from here towards this level. I'd want to see it broken personally. All right, that's what I'm looking for here, right? With my approach. Doesn't mean there's not going to be a move that could be caught here if you're more of a scalper or whatnot. But for me, I'm cool letting this play out and develop into something a little bit better for me. Okay, back over to GJ. 5-6 minutes till closure. Pulling back up a little bit on the 30. The hour's still looking decent. So yeah, let's be patient here and see if we can get a decent chance at an opportunity. So far, this resistance is holding up, but not enough for an entry with this 4-hour closure coming. All right, got to wait it out a little bit for this closure, and then we'll go from there. Sorry, let me catch up. Do I trade gold? I do trade gold sometimes. I haven't been too much with this challenge, and I did last week or the week before. So generally, yes, but not as much when I'm trading with a small account challenge like this. And also, I haven't been as much over the last couple months, but generally speaking, I prefer gold to a lot of other things to trade. You enter with 2 lot? Okay, good stuff, good stuff. I'm just being a little bit patient here. So far, this rejection's holding up, but I would like to wait. And I do think, after we get this closure, we probably will still see a pullback, a wick or something. So we'll see how that goes. Pullback looking good so far. We got just a few minutes till closure, 3.5. So let's wait on this. All right, we got closure coming. We got closure coming. 30, I don't love it, but that's fine. Hours looking good. Let's see how things develop a little bit more. 4 hours looking solid. We want a decent closure. Ideally, lower the better. But this isn't bad, all right? But what I would expect would probably be at the very least a top wick or something. Now, who knows? This could get caught ranging for who knows how long. That's always a possibility, and it's not what we want to see here. But, if that's not what's going to happen, if it's just going to, it could start to play out sooner than that, and in seeing that, I'd probably expect a top wick at least first. Could even pull back and give us some closure coming up and testing resistance again, which wouldn't be ideal. I mean, it just drags this on, but it happens. That's trading. So I'm not, doesn't matter really at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens here. But my priority are these 2 trades that we're managing right now. They're both in profit. This one's just past break even, like a little bit in profit, a couple cents. So we're not like risk-free here or anything. So it's important to be still prioritizing what we're dealing with here as opposed to getting right into another trade. So Do I think I have another opportunity coming? It looks that way at the moment, but I have to be patient and really be confident that it's going to be making this move down. I'm not trying to hop into another sell just to see it pull back up and test resistance again. That could happen and I could get caught in that, but the goal is to do the best I can to avoid that. So that's what I'll be doing, right? I'm only going to be ready to hop in here if it does look like it's ready to make this move. And for me to see that, I'd probably, like I said, want a top wick and then see it start to flip back down. But we got a minute left until closure and it's pulling back up. Like I said, I mean, that's been happening recently where last minute, right before the closure, it does start to pull back and not give us the clean closure that I'm looking for. Now, this wouldn't be a terrible closure. It'd be fine. Like, we still just ride it out clean. So far, rejection. I don't know if I'd really call it a rejection yet, but it's pulling up and testing this level so far, and it's holding up, pulling back a little bit here, actually. So let's see. Let's give it some time. Get that new opening of the candle, and we'll go from there. What does favoriting a time frame do? Whoa. Damn, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to do this right now, but pretty cool. All right, closure coming right now. Let's go. Not the best, not the worst. Not the best, not the worst. We would have loved to see a bit better of a closure, but, you know, we can work with this for sure. All right, so we want to see a bit of a top wick, and then we'll go from there, see if we can catch a bit of a flip. If this just starts coming right down without creating a top wick, that's not an entry opportunity for me. I'm staying out of that, and we'd wait for either a pullback or a later opportunity if it does just carry on into profit from there. But I think being a bit patient with that would be probably wise. So okay, so we got that closure. Not the worst, not the best. So with this current candle, we want to see a bit of a top wick, or I should say I want to see a bit of a top wick, to then see it pull back and maybe give me that sell opportunity. All right, that's what we want here. So a bit of a pullback is probably what I would want to see off rip. Nothing too crazy, but that wouldn't be bad. All right. Okay. A little bit of patience here as this starts to give us that top wick, but as I marked up here for you guys, we are waiting to see this top wick before hopping it. I don't expect to move right down. We just got that 4-hour closure. All right, chat, just a little bit of patience here, all right? I'm going to be back with you guys a little bit with some updates here. We'll see if we can get ready for a nice trade here. We just want to do our best to time this right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back with you guys with an update shortly, and I will see you guys then.